திருநீலகண்டம் 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 திருநீலகண்டம்.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. So today we are going to talk about karma busting. My name is Gina, or Jay Radha, and today we're talking about the teachings of Dr. Pillai, and specifically some techniques that he's given out in the past. But I wanted to represent us and go through some techniques today because it is a super window for karma removal. Now, sorry, one moment. Okay, so welcome. And today what we're going to do is answer a few questions. What is karma, karmic patterning? why today is so important, and then the techniques that will help, that we can actually do together to help us progress to the next level of our evolution, places we want to go. So first of all, we give thanks to Dr. Pillai and all the ascended masters and masters that we are drawing that the teachings come from today. And karma. So what is karma? Karma basically is your life. Like if you look around at what relationships you have, what type of relationships you have, what perceptions that you have, it is all based on what you have created in this lifetime. And that comes from past lives. It comes from our ancestors. It comes from our astrology. It comes from, and then those manifest in thought processes. And then those thoughts become our actions. And then that is the life we build. And oftentimes we build ourselves inside of this box or this castle, depending on your perspective. And then this is what we know. This is what we become so used to that we often don't even know that there's something else, right? So become aware is one of the first keys of the karmic process, or the karma busting process, because oftentimes we don't know the difference. So as a quick exercise, I like for you to think of one thing in your life that you'd like to change. One thing, just one thing. Now, probably won't take you very long to do that. So what's one thing in your life you'd like to change? Now, that is a karmic pattern that you created at some point, that is now inside of your soul and your genes in your body. So now you get to go through these processes today with that one thing. Right, so we're gonna go through the karma busting techniques and kind of discussions on this, so that it's more clear on how you unravel this thing that you did in fact create. One of the things Dr. Pillai has talked a lot about is taking responsibility. Now, we should be responsible for the karmic patterns we are creating, because they are what we've developed either in past lives or this lifetime that has brought us to this very moment. And oftentimes we think, why would I create this? I don't want to have this disease, or I don't want to have this negative relationship. But it can be a result of a curiosity in a prior life, or in this lifetime. It can be a result of some interactions you've had with other people, or other, that has led to your relationships or experiences in this lifetime. It can also be simply something you need to learn, something that we need to process or go through in order to have the next level of our enlightenment, next level of our evolution to occur. So that's a bit of taking responsibility, which brings us to this present moment, which is now we can also be responsible for clearing that pattern. Okay, we created it. We take responsibility for that. The next step is, how do we release it? How do we get past that? And why today is a very important time for that. First of all, it's a Saturday. Where I am, it's a Saturday. Saturdays are ruled by the planet of Saturn. Saturn is known as a planet who implements karma, but Dr. Pillai would say all planets are agents of your karma. But Saturn is particularly known for it because he can create delays. He can help us to have more challenges in our life. But those challenges and the lessons that we learn are very crucial to our evolution. So he doesn't do anything arbitrarily. It is always for our highest good, but it doesn't always necessarily feel that way in the moment. So today is important because it's a Saturday ruled by Saturn, and it's also the 13th phase of the moon. If you look at the phases of the moon as they're broken down from a new moon to a full moon, and then from a full moon to a new moon, every single day a cycle goes through where there's a different phase of the moon. 13th phase of the moon, whether it's waning or waxing, is an opening for us to clear our karma, which is a beautiful opportunity given to us by the celestial beings that we are very grateful to have this window where we get to have this cleansing. Now, I'm looking at my AstroVed calendar, which I love, and this, you can see, is today, and it says Shani Pradosham. So that's what that means. When the Pradosham, which is 13th moon, falls on a Saturday, Shani is known as Saturday, Shani is known as Saturn, then we have this really intense opportunity. Now, every 13th moon is also powerful. So the next one is going to be on a Sunday. Doesn't mean it's, you shouldn't do your techniques. You should absolutely do them. But it's always going to fall on different days throughout the coming months. And that's why you want to have one of these so that you can really have it in front of you. At least that's what I do, so that you're more aware of when these when these are happening. So now we know why today is an important day for karma removal. Now, what is the most powerful time within that 13th moon? It is the hour to an hour and a half before sunset, wherever you are. So the 13th moon timing falls different times in different time zones. Again, why you want to make sure you know the start time. So it says 13th moon, and it says the time on this calendar. This is a New York calendar, so I have to do the calculations for where I am in California. But this is when I know the 13th moon starts. Now, it starts today, during the day. So that means I know that my sunset today on Saturday, an hour beforehand, is the most potent time frame within this 13th moon phase. So that's how you find the calculations, okay? So now that we know what karma is, we brought it upon ourselves, we're creating it. You've picked one area of your life right now that you'd like to hone in on today, and why today is a special time window. Now let's get into the meditations and techniques to help start clearing that away. And then after this, I'll take some questions in the live chat. So in the mini mystery school seminar that Dr. Pillai gave several months ago, he gave a technique. I'm going to play that meditation technique. It's very short, it's about 6 minutes. So we're going to do that. And then we are going to, I have a setup here where I am going to walk you through a hydration ceremony and how to do that today, because it's also a very powerful time. So go ahead and get yourself into a quiet mindset if you can at this time. Take a few deep breaths. Allow yourself to become present. Allow the body to be still, keeping your back as straight as possible while still being comfortable. Inhaling through the nostrils and exhaling out the mouth, relaxing and gently closing your eyes.
Just close your eyes. Focus attention on your throat. Visualize a blue light. Recognize and acknowledge that you have bad money karma. Recognize and acknowledge. Not with the brain, but you think that thought right on the throat. And say to yourself, I recognize and acknowledge that I have money problems. How did I get this money problem? Through my own parents, my grandparents, who all had money problems. I have inherited those genes. The worst is I am going to pass it on to my children. Keep focusing attention on the throat. Tirunīlakantam Tirunīlakantam Tirunīlakantam. Just go to the times in memoriam. When the problem was fixed, the karma problem was fixed by this archetype Shiva. Who absorbed your bad karma. He absorbed it in his own throat, and his throat became dark blue. Just visualize this being with a blue throat and concentrate on his blue throat. By sympathetic magic, your bad karma moves into his throat and you become karma free. Tirunīlakantam Tirunīlakantam Tirunīlakantam. Now, relax. Keep your eyes closed and then take your time to come back. Just
Slowly come back to yourself. Slowly begin to come back to yourself and end the meditation. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes. Welcome back from the meditation. So that was a very short meditation, 6 minutes. And Dr. Pillai delivered that during his mini mystery school seminar several months ago. So I wanted to bring us back to that technique where he's placing the blue light into the throat. This is a very powerful technique. So let's go through this technique as well as some other ones that you can do today, as well as every pradosham and really every single day. Placing the blue throat, the light into the blue throat, and chanting Tiru Nila Kantam. That's a very simple version. You can do it throughout the day. You can do it in a seated meditation. You can chant Tiru Nila Kantam, simply chanting it at sunset every single day. So that's another technique that you can do. And now let us get into the kind of a more involved technique that we're going to do. Okay, so I'm going to point us over here. So this, what you have here is some idols, and I'll show you what they are. If you don't have any of this, a stone will do, simply a little stone. So here we have Ganesha. Then he removes obstacles. Then we have Nandi, the bull, who is the vehicle for Shiva. And then this is the Shiva Lingam, and it is the symbol for Lord Shiva, the removal, the being who most powerfully can remove our karma. This is what Dr. Pillai mentioned in the meditation, that the blue light of Lord Shiva is what removes the karma. So what we're going to do today is offerings to them called a hydration. It's very powerful today because, as I mentioned, it's a intense karma removal day. So first thing you want to do, this is water. First thing you want to do is make your offering to Ganesha, because we always offer to him first. And you can chant his mantra and just cleanse and offer the water. Water is life. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. We ask Ganesha to remove all obstacles that may have been in place, preventing the absolute success of this ritual for all participating. Om Nandeshwaraya Namaha. Om Nandeshwaraya Namaha. Om Nandeshwaraya Namaha. Nandi, we ask that you bless us and bring our prayers to Lord Shiva. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. So Nandi is the vehicle of Lord Shiva, and he's also a Siddha himself, so he can grant magical powers. And then Lord Shiva, his mantra is Namah Shivaya, which is why we chanted that. And then we will be chanting Tirunila Kantam, which is the mantra for karma removal. So now we move to our milk. This is milk in here, just cow's milk. And the symbolism of this is that the cow is sacred. And so this is a sacrifice given to us by the cow. And so it is a sacred liquid that we make offerings to further empower our prayers. These rituals or remedies really take our prayers to the next level. And that's why we perform them. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Bring it closer so you can see a little better. Pataye Namaha. Make your prayer to Ganesha. Ganesha, we ask you to remove all obstacles, seen and unseen, in our path to success. Om Nandeshwaraya Namaha. Om Nandeshwaraya Namaha. Om Nandeshwaraya Namaha. Nandi, we ask for your blessings, miraculous powers, and the surrender that you have to God. Tirunila-kantam, 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 Tirunila-kantam. Pray for the removal of karmic deposits in your body, in your soul, in the mind. Pray that Lord Shiva removes them, withdraws them, frees you from the patterns in which you're stuck. Tirunila-kantam, 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 Tirunila-kantam. Now make your final prayers. The divine beings. Lord, we ask that you intervene in our karmic patterns, change what we cannot change ourselves. Help us to overcome things where we feel stuck, areas of life, recurring habits, recurring thoughts that don't serve us. We ask that you help accelerate our evolution and grant us your grace and blessings for prosperity and enlightenment. Now I will just clean them off and place them onto a clean plate. So after you do this, you want to rinse them. Ideally, you'll rinse them in the sink so that they're really clean, but for these purposes, I'll be just rinsing them in water. Like this. So you can rinse them and dry them a little bit. So this is all very prayerful, that you want to stay mindful while you're doing this. Now this milk has absorbed it's absorbed the karma, and you don't want to use it for anything. So you want to discard that in the drain. Remember, you always want to use your right hand when making offerings. You don't use the left hand for that. So now we have our clean and almost dry beings here. Nandi always faces Shiva because he's 100% dedicated to him. So then you offer the 5 elements we already offered water, hydration, which is life itself, right? Then we have fire, and you do the offering in a circular pattern and say the mantra, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, Om Nandeshwaraya Namaha, Om Namah Shivaya Namaha, Om Tiruni Lakantam. Then you can offer incense, and that is the symbol of air. So we have water, fire, air. Tiruni Lakantam. That's your incense. Then you want to offer, and there's no particular order other than the fire has to be first. You can offer food, so they want food, and flowers. So the food symbolizes earth, and the flowers symbolize ether, because the flowers are so pure, they have the energy of the ether, and they can bring your prayers to the heavens. Give one to Ganesha, Nandi, and Lord Shiva. And there you have the hydration ceremony as well as the 5-element offering. The last technique that I wanted to give to you is, again, has to do with the mantra Tiruni Lakantam, which has been our theme today. And this one is to use a lime, lemon, or coconut and roll it, as well as it absorbs your negativity or absorbs the karmic patterns. So you hold it in your right hand, lime, lemon, or coconut. You can also use a pumpkin, but sometimes hard to find. And you chant you can imagine the blue light in the throat, just like we learned from Dr. Pillai. And then you want to hold it on. Karmic deposits are very much in our throat, which is a juncture between kind of the lower chakras and the upper chakras in our third eye and crown chakra. So it's a very important juncture energetically, as well as for our body. So you can hold the object in the throat. Tiruni Lakantam. Roll it on the shoulders. There's also a big place for karma. Tiruni Lakantam. The head and our brain stores all kinds of karma. Tiruni Lakantam. And then if you have any ailments on the body, something that doesn't feel good, roll it there. Tiruni Lakantam. Tiruni Lakantam. Tiruni Lakantam. And then once you're done, and you can imagine the energy being extracted from the body, the mind, and placed into this object. And then, or you can imagine a particular thing. Remember, I had asked you to focus in on one particular area today that you would like to have cleansed through these karma techniques. So you can think about that particular area that you would like to have removed, and think of it being extracted from you. The thought processes or the scenario, anything that contributes to that situation, you can ask for that to be removed. Once you've done that, you've chanted the mantra, you've transferred your energy into this thing, this object, you cut the lime or lemon and throw it in the garbage, and then wash anything that has any of the juices on it. I use a separate knife and cutting board that I just keep separate. So that's very easy for me. So you want to do that and toss it in the garbage. If it's a coconut, break it outside. Try not to get the juices on you. Again, washing if it does, and then discarding the the hard part of the coconut into the garbage. You can, if you're out in nature and you want to break the coconut and leave it, that's okay. But I wouldn't do it on your property so much where you're accumulating a lot of coconuts there. So you don't want to just accumulate a lot of your old karma in one spot. So that is, so those are the techniques that I wanted to go through. During the meditation, Dr. Pillai said, bad money karma because it's so common with us. But I had also asked you to think of one particular area where you want to remove. So maybe money's not your number one priority, maybe something else is, but you can replace it in that meditation that he did with whatever it is that is most important to you, at least right now. Because remember, karma is something we've accumulated over lifetimes. It's not going to go away with one shot. This is a patterns and a practice that you incorporate into your daily life to do all the time. So I hope that what you've gotten from this today is that some techniques you can take with you and you can continue to do, as well as continue to learn from Dr. Pillai's messages on karma and how to remove them. And remember the time energies where these windows of opportunity are most potent and most ripe for you. Okay, so now that portion is complete, I will look to see what type of questions we have in the chat. Miriam's asking, when Dr. Pillai says to visualize Shiva with the blue throat, is it okay to open our eyes and gaze at a picture of Shiva with a blue throat? Yes, it is. You can find them on the internet pretty easily, definitely. Okay, let's see what other questions there are. If you can, please retype your questions down at the bottom, because if you were typing them while I was doing the ceremony, I wasn't able to watch for you. Do you think I should go for the mystery school program or PT10, Millionaire Yoga, and the subconscious mind program, Yogesh? Anyone, thank you for bringing that up. So anyone who is interested in the mystery school program and on the fence about it, Dr. Pillai recently said that this program will shift your consciousness unlike any other program. So if you have the opportunity and the means to join mystery school, by all means, you should do that. That is the #1 program where he is involved the most. In fact, it just started last weekend, was the first technique that was released, and he's having a live call with the group this Sunday, meaning tomorrow. So that was the fastest I think I've ever seen, having so much contact with him so soon in a program, where the program started on January 1st. The first teaching was released on the 7th, and the live call with him is going to be on the 14th. We had only promised, and he had only promised, that he would deliver one new teaching per month. One new teaching every other month, and then in the months in between, he would have a live call. So far, he's over-delivered within the first week of the program, 2 weeks of the program. So plus, his energy is laser-focused on this program itself. When he goes into deep meditations, when he comes out with revelations, it's this program where he delivers it to the people, because he knows those people are committed, they've made sacrifices to be there, and he's committed to making sure that people receive the results that they're looking for. So if you have the opportunity to join Mystery School, please do that. And the links are right here, the buttons are right here on the page that you're looking at. So you can go ahead and click through and participate. The last day to register is January 15th. So I do want to make sure everyone knows that, and that is going to be Monday. Looking at my trusty AstroVed calendar. So if you are interested in Mystery School, you'll want to join by the 15th. If you have any other questions, or you need an extended period to join, we can offer some exceptions to that. Do write up either office@pillaicenter.com, but more specifically, even better, would be mysteryschool@pillaicenter.com if you are interested in that program itself, because it is starting soon and we want to make sure we don't miss anything for you. Okay, so let's see what other questions we have. Someone's asking, how do I get the calendar? If someone else could pop the link into the calendar, that would be helpful. They'll ship them everywhere in the world, and there's 4 different time zones, calendar time zones. What's a substitute if we don't have a statue of bull or lingam? So a small rock would be fine, or two if you want to do one for the lingam and one for the bull. Is the pumpkin more powerful for karma removal as it is bigger? Yes, technically, Dr. Pillai has said that the kind of scale in which they are is the lime and the lemon are on one level, then the coconut is the next, and then the pumpkin is the next. In terms of kind of removing more karma in one shot. Someone's asking, Dr. Pillai says to do Tirani Lakantam, especially on Mondays. Mondays are powerful days for Lord Shiva, so I can understand why that would be the case. But it's not that you should do it only on Mondays, for sure. You should do it every single day. And then Saturdays are important, Mondays are important, and definitely the 13th moons. Let's see, any other questions? Paul's asking, will chanting Tirani Lakantam also remove existing family-related issues? Yeah, so family karma is a big one because we're so related to our relatives in many ways, physically, emotionally, mentally. We've created a lot of intertwined energies with these people, and if you have tension there, or if you have maybe you're taking things on from them, then definitely these techniques are very helpful. You can, so I'm asking if you smash or cut the pumpkin, you can smash it like you would the coconut. Someone is asking, I saw a YouTube video by Mohini where they use a flower and squish the flower petal for each area to be improved while chanting Tirani Lakantam, and suggested to do this on new moon days. Is this a good technique as well? Yes, for sure. So here's that technique. You take a flower and you can actually place it onto your body, just like we did with the lemon or the lime, and chant Tirani Lakantam, or you can just simply pick up the flower, and it could be a whole flower or a flower petal, and chant Tirani Lakantam, thinking of what it is you want to destroy, and then squashing it and crushing it. Excuse me, and then throwing it in the garbage. And then you want to wash your hands after that. What position should the Shiva Lingam be in? I don't have the answer to that. Yeah. No, there's not a particular flower that makes it different. So either one. Let's see if there's other questions in the chat. Excuse me. Someone's asking about fasting. There's no need to fast. And then they're asking, can you please tell me if I must think blue, dark blue, or light blue in the throat? Good question. It starts with a general blue, and then it can get darker and darker. So the darker the blue. Yeah, so I popped over to the YouTube chat because I hadn't seen you guys yet. So I think I have all your questions here. Can you please spell the mantra? I think someone already did that. And to spell the mantra is Thiru, Thiru, and then Neela, Neela, Kantam, Kantam. Good, they did that as well. Thank you. Okay, any other questions? Someone's asking about bilba leaves. That's not that's only if you're in India would you really have access to those, I believe. So we're not going to worry about that. Someone has a holographic Babaji cube and it chipped. Typically when something symbolizes like a holy object, and if it breaks, we don't make offerings to it anymore. You can keep it somewhere, but don't offer it. And you could submerge it into like water. But for the cube, you can keep it. It just wouldn't make like, don't pour water or milk over it. Don't place, flowers in front of it. Just keep it aside and get another one. They're like $15 right now. They're on sale, so you can get another one. Someone's asking about a video of chanting Tir Nilakandam. Yes, that is available on YouTube. So just go to the YouTube channel. And if we have an admin on page, if you can post that, that would be wonderful. Someone's asking, is it normal if someone feels pain while doing Tir Nilakantam? It can be, yes. So just because you're in the process of extraction or removal, and what you want to do is allow that to happen. And if there's some discomfort, there may be some discomfort. So yes. There's no particular type of incense. So yeah, so the guest who is asking about the Tir Nilakantam 108 times, there is a video there. So you would go to Pillai Center YouTube channel and search for that and you'll see it. Or there's actually a playlist that has mantra lists in it. So if one of our admins could help out, that would be great. Let's see if there's anything else. Okay, so looks like an Indian friend is answering the question about which the Shiva Lingam to the south and the pointed end of the base towards the north. So thank you for that. So someone's asking about how to connect with communities on Facebook. We have many different local communities. So there's one for India. So this person's asking about Chennai specifically, and you can go there and look. They'll say Pillai Center community page, and then they'll say India. I think there's one in South India. There's different areas. Definitely in the US, we have many. We have some in the UK, South Africa. We have someone on YouTube asking, what about Tir Nilakantam Shivaya Nama? That is a mantra that Dr. Pillai has given in the past, so you can definitely use that. It's a beautiful mantra. He combined the Namah Shivaya with Tir Nilakantam. So the whole mantra is Tir Nilakantam Shivaya Nama, or however you want to do the cadence. So I have someone asking, with this practice, what can you do if you do not have archetypes? Great question. You do the meditation that was given by Dr. Pillai that I played. So he simply, it was all visual, right? You didn't need any of these physical items that I have. So the physical ritual that I did is not necessary. It's just added, right? It helps us to kind of go above and beyond and cleanse even more. But without them, do the meditation where you're focusing on the throat, you're visualizing Lord Shiva's blue throat, you feel the throat, your throat being blue, and you're chanting Tir Nilakantam. And Dr. Pillai guided us through the whole thing, so you can redo that meditation. In fact, if you go to the Mystery School Hangout page, it says, at the bottom of the page, if you're on that page, it says download meditation audio. So you can do that. And I'll pop that link into the Facebook chat as well. Oops. Wrong, not Facebook, YouTube. Oh, I can't. I have to sign in first. I don't want to mess anything up. Okay, thank you. Someone posted the Tiro Nilakantam 108 mantras, and there's a question about asking the significance. So 108 is the magic number where Dr. Pillai has said that that's the number where you need to do in order to kind of hit the first level of the mantra affecting your consciousness. So and there's astrological, reasons for this number and spiritual reasons for this number that I won't get into, but just know that 108 is the typical number we count for the minimum number of mantras that you should begin to do. And then you can do iterations of that. Of course, if it's the morning and you're chanting Tiro Nilakantam a few times and you don't, you hit just a few, that's okay. Always chant the mantra, because that also accumulates for when you do it a few more times later in the day, and a few more times and a few more times. So we're always accumulating kind of the mantra count. And it's not so much about just the number, it's that this repetition is hitting your soul, it's hitting your consciousness, it's hitting your mind. The more we fill ourselves, our body, our brains with the mantra, the more impact that this vibration will have on us. And every mantra has a different vibration. So we have Tiro Nilakantam, which helps to remove karmic deposits. And that's what we're talking about today. But there's other mantras, as you well know, that Dr. Pillai gives out. Yeah, so there's another mantra, Makaral Shivaya Nama. So he did another mantra that was Makaral Shivaya Nama, or combining it, Tiro Nilakantam Makaral Shivaya Nama. And that can also be used. So if you already know that one, or if you've seen the video on that, then definitely you can use that as well. Someone's asking for the leaf or plant that symbolizes this mantra. I don't have that answer. Will Tiro Nilakantam remove good karma or just bad karma? So yeah, that's a great question. It's always asked. It will remove the karma that you're focusing on. So typically we focus on the karma that we don't want, right? We're not trying to interfere with the karma that we like, typically, right? So that is where you will, like I mentioned earlier, finding or determining one particular area that you would like to change. And then Dr. Pillai mentioned it in the meditation for the financial karma. Now, you're not going to focus in on like, oh, I have a really great relationship with my mother, let's think of that and chant Tiro Nilakantam. You're not doing that, right? You're only focusing in on what you want to be removed. So I wouldn't worry about your good karma being removed. Any other questions? Roderick is saying, I've done Tiro Nilakantam since January 1st. That's fantastic. Keep going. Go for the whole year. It's just like showering. You got to do it every day. It doesn't stop. Saeed is asking the best dates and times to do the practice. So I already went over that. So that's earlier in the program. And the short answer to that is every day. Every day, anytime. But the best times, an hour before sunset every day, or 13th moons twice per month. Saturdays and Mondays, also very powerful. All right, I think that's all the questions. Any other questions? I don't know what Makaral means. I know that mantra comes from a temple in which there's a very special Shiva lingam, and it has to do with a lizard wrapped around the lingam. And there's a history to that temple, and that's where the Makaral Shivaya Nama came from. So I don't know the translation of Makaral, but I think it might have to do with the lingam, that lingam and the lizard and the story behind it. Someone's asking if you should chant to Ganesha first before chanting Tiro Nilakantam. You can, but it's not necessary. you can simply start chanting Tirunila Kantam. But if you want to create your practice where you are first offering to Ganesha, chanting to Ganesha, then yes. Question, the various archetype fire labs in Ashtavet and Pillai Center is a very powerful karma removal. Please advise. I think you're asking which one is. So there are remedies or rituals that get done every month, and they are specific for karma removal. They're done on 13th moons. So you can find them. They're usually called pradosham, and they happen every month, twice a month. And those are the most powerful for karma removal. If you have, and those are group remedies, so they're more affordable. And if you have specific like pretty harsher karma, you can contact us and we'll help you find something that's more geared towards exactly what you need. Yeah, so if the 13th moon starts one day and ends the next, can we do the ritual 2 days? Yes, you can. Hi, Tony is asking, I was raised Catholic and remember the priest saying a prayer before communion, wash away my inequities and cleanse me from my sin. And also only say the word and I shall be healed. I can remember always asking myself, what is the word? Why don't they just tell us the word? Maybe this is the word. That's a really beautiful. I love that. Yeah, just say the word and I shall be healed. Tirunila Kantam. And it's, that's also the connection with the grace. So even in Catholicism, asking for to be healed, like Lord, say the word and I shall be healed, because it's the grace of God that showers upon us, allowing us to be healed from these sins, to be cleansed from any wrongdoing or cleansed from these patterns that we are creating in this life. So it's also similar, and it's all universal, the universal truths of divine awakening and cleansing. Someone's asking, okay, to give spinach leaves to Nandi or just Kamadhenu. I've never heard of giving that, as a symbolic offering to your statues. I guess it's possible, since they are cows and bulls, that they would eat that. Does Ganesha have a certain light too? Ganesha's color is an orange light. There's a question, since 14th moon is for Shiva, is karma removal done then also? It can be, but there's different energies every single moon phase. So the 13th is really specific to karma removal. But like I said, always be doing it. You should be doing this every day. It's not a matter of only, doing your karma busting on certain days of the month. It's always available to us, just like we have to eat and shower and take care of our bodies. We're also taking care of this karma that we've accumulated. Remember, you've accumulated this for hundreds or thousands of lifetimes, right? It's not just one-time shot deal. It's a practice. Very important that everyone understands this is a practice that we have to continue to do. There's a question, Manish, want to start both Tirunila Kantam and Shrim Bruzi. Very good, you should. For the new year, January, and we did a reboot, and the main two mantras you want to really hone into for this year and right now and in general is the karma cleansing as well as the creation. So karma cleansing, Tirunila Kantam, the techniques I just showed you, and then you can do Shrim Bruzi for manifesting, for creative. And there's a lot of other webinars, and I will certainly do more on Shrim Bruzi to help you get aligned with that even more. Okay, see if there's anything else. Someone's asking where the archetypes or murtis can be found on sale. There's a there's a crystal Shiva Lingam on PillaiCenter.com that you can purchase. There's also a little Ganesha. There's typically little Ganesha, crystal Ganeshas. And if those should always be available. We don't always have Nandis available because they're just not, people don't purchase them as much. So but typically certain rituals get done throughout the year, and then we procure more and energize them and sell them. So you want to keep your eye out for Nandis. But the Shiva Lingam is something you can definitely order, and that's crystal Shiva Lingam. Someone's asking, why is it that I sometimes hear Tiro Nilakantam subconsciously? Because you are greatly blessed. If you're hearing the mantra subconsciously, then that's great. What happened to Mahamrityunjaya mantra? Not enough. There's so many mantras. It's not that certain mantras are not enough. It's that each mantra has a specific duty, a specific quality, a specific purpose. And Dr. Pillai is really heavily promoting Tiro Nilakantam as the karma removal. There's so many, every mantra removes karma in a sense, because we're using it to fill our consciousness instead of our thoughts, right? So by that mere fact, it's removing our karmas, because if we're not continuing to think a particular thought, then we're shifting our karmic patterns. But this mantra's sole purpose is to remove our karma. So that's why we're using this one. You can, by all means, use any other mantra that you feel comfortable with. Someone's asking, should we use these archetypes made of different materials, or they should be the same? No, they can be all different. The ones that I have here, the Ganesha is made of metals, mostly bronze, and then the lingam and the Nandi are stone. So they can be different. Question, various statues, veils, etc. received from the services in Pillai Center. Please advise. So it sounds like what you're asking is that you have received multiple objects, and inside of the packages should be instructions on how to use them. If they are not, then you can write to the support and find out more specifically. But we have made many videos on certain things like this. I've made a video on the veil, what to do with the veil. So I don't have time to go through, all the materials today, but we're going to keep doing free teaching techniques every month as much as possible. Paula is asking, I notice at times when I chant Shrim Brazi, another mantra pops into my head. Should I go with it? Yes, go with whatever happens. All right, so we've come to an hour, and we're going to wrap things up. Any last questions I'll answer, and then we will conclude, because I'm going to be back with you next week. When is Karpasamy replacing Shiva? I don't have an answer to that. Maybe next Tuesday. No, I'm just kidding. There's no answer for that. There's Dr. Pillai has talked about Karupaswamy as the avatar who is coming to the earth plane, and has already come to the earth plane to help clean things up, to help create justice. And so we just need to stay in tune with whatever messages Dr. Pillai continues to give us on that topic. Okay, so someone's asking, I have statues and veils and malas, many of them, what do I do with them? So when you've received, as I mentioned, when you've received, there should be instructions. And what I do is, it depends on what it is. If it's like a jewelry or something, I put it in my collection of things I want to wear. But if it's a sacred object that has to do with using or putting on I put them on my altar. And then you just leave them on your altar if you have a lot of sacred items from orders that you've placed through Pillai Center or Astrobed, and just leave them there. And sometimes, I'll put a little droplet of water on all the objects on my altar just to kind of enliven them. Like I said today, water is hydration. The hydration, which is water, is life affirming. Okay, so I'm trying to answer this question. And when you ask a question, please just be very clear on what exactly you mean so that I can help you better. If what you're asking is there are many different options to purchase, which ones do you? And that's true too. Then I always just go with my gut. Like if I'm really drawn to something, I purchase it. There's so many offerings on Pillai Center and Astrobid. You will drive yourself crazy if you think you should purchase all of them. What you really should do is go with what calls to you the most. And I usually, sometimes I put out videos on which ones that I feel are kind of the most significant or most powerful, or things that I'm going to participate in just to help people make those decisions. So the upcoming birthday proxy is definitely one of those that you want to participate in. So if you've been studying with Dr. Pillai, you have a connection or you want to create a connection, the birthday proxy package is something you definitely want to participate in. The early bird actually ends on January 18th. So you should make sure you do it by then so that you save more money. And then the final day to offer is the 27th. And that's because we have to make a personal yantra for you. There's a lot of different offerings in that program. And I want to make, and you can take a look at the page and see what's there for you. But there's three different ways to join. And then inside of that, there's a lot of things that you receive. So yeah, for right now, if you're asking which one to participate in, do that one, hands down. So, all right, that's about it. So, oh, last things I want to say is that next week we will be here and doing part 2 of this session. I will review the mystery school kind of points that Dr. Pillai, mini mystery school points that Dr. Pillai made in a second. And we will also start talking about mini mystery school as a program. We're going to be releasing a program. If any of you are not able to join the main mystery school and want to receive some exclusive teachings on this topic, we're releasing a program for you for that. And if you are able to join mystery school part 2, started in January 1st, but the final day to register is January 15th. You'll want to do that before. Well, if you do it today, you'll receive Dr. Pillai's live call tomorrow morning, which is going to be at 7 a.m. Pacific time. Then that's a great blessing as well. So if you have any questions specifically about Mystery School, please write to mysteryschool@pillaicenter.com. So thank you all for joining. It has been a pleasure, and I hope that this has been helpful to you. We thank Dr. Pillai, Ganesha, Lord Shiva, and all the beings who have helped make this possible and who bless us on a regular basis. We'll talk to you soon. Namaste.